Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On the Newshour tonight, tears for terrorists, not victims. That's the big debate on the Newshour tonight. Tahawwur Rana is back, and so are the tears of the opposition parties. Also on the Newshour tonight, Parivar above patriots for the Congress party. Why did they fail to recognize patriots of this country, including Sankar Naik? That's the big debate number 2 on the Newshour. But first up, debate number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back to 30th of July 2015. By that time, I had been reporting for 25 years, and till date, I remember that night clearly. For the first time ever at 3 a.m., the doors of the Supreme Court were opened. This was for the final mercy plea against execution of Yaqoob Memon. This Daud aide was convicted for killing 257 innocents in the 1993 Mumbai blast. Inside court number 4, it took 3-judge bench around 90 minutes to reject this plea that had gone through every single phase of the judicial process, from the lower courts to the High Court and then to the Supreme Court, which gave its sentence of hanging until death. Yet, the mercy plea was taken up well past midnight. A little before 7 a.m., Yaqoob Memon was hanged in the Nagpur Central Jail. I'm reminding you this today only because we must understand the strength of our democracy, the strength of the rule of law, the power of the Constitution. Yesterday, India brought back the 2611 orchestrator Tahawwur Hussain Rana. We all know about this shadowy plotter and his dark deeds for Hafiz Saeed. But now we will show you the mind of a diabolical killer. American authorities have revealed that they have recorded a monitored call between Rana and David Coleman Headley, the main plotter of the Mumbai 2611 attacks. In this phone call, Tahawwur Rana reportedly said that the 9 terrorists, including Kasab, who rained bullets and grenades on Mumbai, must be awarded Pakistan's highest military award, Nishan-e-Haider. He even said that Indians deserved it. But the Congress party feels that what Rana deserves is fairness. That is their first priority, not retribution for his crimes or even justice for the victims of this heinous terror attack, but fairness for Tahawwur Rana. We all hail the fairness of the judiciary, but is the opposition doubting it? Congress's former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Prithviraj Chavan, the man who was the Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office when this dastardly terror attack took place, demanded a proper trial for Rana. Kapil Sibal has warned that the Modi Sarkar against being selective on terror. When India cries for justice, India allies use this opportunity to target Modi. Farooq Abdullah has asked if after Rana the government will bring back black money to India. Uddhav Sena writes that BJP has made a tyohar out of Tahawwur Rana to get votes. Watch how India wants to avenge the deaths of 2611 victims, but the opposition is batting for fairness towards a terrorist. Tears for a terrorist.
हमारी मांग है कि जिस तरह से अजमल कसाब के खिलाफ पूरे भारत के कानून के अंतर्गत इसी तरह से राना का जब ट्रायल होगा, उसका जब मुकदमा चलेगा, तो इसी तरह से उसको पूरा कानूनी तरीके से अधिकार देकर उसको जो भी सजा हो।
किसी को तो लाएंगे, वो जो लाने वाले थे ब्लैक पैसा और हर एक को 15 लाख मिलने वाला था, वो किधर गया?
जहाँ जहाँ भी टेररिज्म एक हथियार बन गया है, सरकारें इसमें सेलेक्टिवली काम करती है।
तो राणा को लाया है, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन अब राणा फेस्टिवल मत करिए। हमें पूरा भरोसा है ये राजनीति कर रहे हैं और बिहार चुनाव से पहले राणा को फांसी पर लटका देंगे।
It's like saying the launching of the Mangalyaan. I mean, the space launch would have happened under one Prime Minister, but the landing will happen under another Prime Minister.
This is India's golden chance to nail Pakistan for the role of Hafiz Saeed and its state actors in the dastardly terror attack on India. But the opposition is busy fighting for the human rights of Rana, the terrorist. Perhaps it's not surprising. Remember how they closed ranks to fight for the rights of convicted terrorists? They shed tears when Afzal Guru was sent to the gallows. They called Burhan Wani a son of the soil. Sonia Gandhi even cried after the Batla House encounter. Let's remind you of each of these occasions when the Congress, when the opposition, instead of standing for India, stood for terror instead.
Nowhere in this book or nowhere in Mr. Musharraf's book you will see the involvement of the Pakistani terrorists in 26/11.
हमने वजीर आज़म से बात करी, हमने सोनिया गांधी जी से बात करी। सोनिया गांधी जी को उस हादसे की हमने तस्वीरें दिखाई तो उनके आंसू फूट पड़े और उन्होंने हाथ जोड़कर कहा कि ये तस्वीर मुझे मत दिखाओ, फौरन जाओ वजीर आज़म से बात करो।
मैंने हमेशा कहा है जो मिलिटेंट है, खासकर जो लोकल मिलिटेंट है, यहाँ का ही सन ऑफ द सॉइल। हमारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा कि उसको हम बचा सके।
बलवंत सिंह रजौना, संतन मुरुगन और परवेज इलम को फांसी इसलिए नहीं दी गई क्योंकि इनके पीछे इनकी पार्टी है। याकूब मेमन को फांसी में देने से पहले बलवंत सिंह रजौना, जो चीफ मिनिस्टर पंजाब को मारा जेल में, उसको फांसी दो। राजीव गांधी को मारने वाले संतन मुरुगन, पुनविसलन, इनको फांसी दो।
So, ladies and gentlemen, the Motorola legitimate question we are asking on the News Hour tonight is batting for the butchers of 26/11 betrayal of the victims? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Radhika Khera, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me this evening, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate in the Supreme Court. Ratan Sharda, author. Also joining me, Mohammad Tariq Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Ravi Srivastav, political analyst. But my first question goes to Congress leader Sanjay Jha. And Sanjay Jha, I want to ask you, even before a sentiment is expressed in support of the victims and their families who lost their lives and who still 17 years later are waiting for justice for the carnage of 26/11 in 2008, the Congress party and a former chief minister of Maharashtra, where this big terror attack took place, the man who was a minister of state in the Dr. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's office at that time, has the audacity to remember legal rights of Tahawwur Rana? No, not a single tear for the victims. Is this a complete misplaced sense of priority, Sanjay Jha? Because Tahawwur Rana, again, you want justice. Whether it was Yaqoob Memon, you went knocking on the doors of the Supreme Court despite the sentence for hanging which went through every stage of the judiciary. You went there, you got a hearing, the Chief Justice at 1 o'clock at night came back to the Supreme Court, held a 90-minute hearing, and then you have the audacity to question the legal rights of a terrorist? Really, Sanjay Jha?
Navika, I think this is a sensitive and an important discussion. And I've been following what the BJP has been saying for a while, ever since this entire issue came up. And if you give me a little bit of uninterrupted time, I won't take too long, I would like to put some facts in perspective for your viewers. My answer will be in two parts. The first is the credibility of a political party, which has now, I think, become so immoral, unethical, and unprincipled that they must politicize every act of national security or foreign policy. But do they have any credibility? And this is my first part of my answer. This is the same political party where, when the Kandahar hijack happened, the Home Minister had no idea that the plane had taken off. This is the political party. When the Kargil intrusion happened and the Pakistanis attacked us, our intelligence failure was so shabby that it is the shepherds who warned us that there was going to be trouble in the hills at Kargil. Point number 3, we all know the attack in Parliament. The highest sacrosanct body of the House was attacked, and we know who was in government. Last but not the least, the dastardly attack on our innocent soldiers at Pulwama. So I would request the BJP leadership to take a deep breath and stop frauding the people of India as if national security is only your responsibility. It is the responsibility of everyone in this country, especially the political representatives in Parliament. Let me answer to you on the Rana case, the Tahawwur Rana case. Number 1, I was in Mumbai, and I remember, Navika, you too, everyone was covering what was a horrific attack. I live in Mumbai. By the way, a very senior boss of mine died in that attack. So I understand that this is a sensitive issue. And when we talk here, we should be aware there are many lives lost. And you are absolutely right in saying that we cannot make casual statements. But here is the truth. Number 1, both David Headley and Rana were arrested in the year 2009. If I not remember, they were arrested within a year of the attack, number 1. Number 2, I think the Congress and the opposition, everyone at that point, worked together in one voice because you needed your diplomatic, military, or call it all the intelligence, all the necessary capabilities to be in place to influence both Canada and the United States. Look at the 3 timelines that are very important, Navika. In 2009, the cases were registered against Rana and David Headley. In 2011, the charge sheet was filed, and in 2013, both Headley as well as Rana were arrested. And they all happened before Mr. Modi became Prime Minister. And most important, the NIA, which I believe is the most significant counter-terrorism body in this country, was formed within 1 month of the 26/11 attacks. After that, Mr. Modi became Prime Minister. And thereafter, they have moved on with the case. This is not the time for playing cheap, crude, vulgar politics of the BJP. I believe that the diplomatic, legal, and the intelligence initiatives taken have borne fruit. And everyone here should feel happy that hopefully justice will come forth over the coming time when the trial will be held.
Sanjay Jha, I heard you for 3.5 minutes, and I didn't interrupt you.
I appreciate it.
You didn't answer my question, the only question that I asked you. To not care about the justice for the families of the victims, for the braves who laid down their lives, but to actually ask for fair legal trial of Tahawwur Rana. Is that statement sensitive? From a man who lost a friend in that terror attack, Sanjay Jha, I expected a little more sensitivity from you. And when you don't want to respond to an answer, when you don't want to admit a mistake, Sanjay Jha, it takes you a lot of words to cover up the one thing that you're avoiding to say. And Radhika Khera, today I want to ask, is this only about the BJP? Did I take the name of the BJP? I only asked about justice for the families of the victims of 26/11. Why should Sanjay Jha not answer that question and go on for 3.5 minutes, completely diverting the attention from one legal issue to another legal issue? Why does their heart beat only for the likes of Yasin Malik? Those visuals of Yasin Malik in the Prime Minister's residence in New Delhi, shaking hands with Dr. Manmohan Singh, is a picture I will never forget. Even when I get Alzheimer's, possibly. I will never forget that picture. And the picture of all of these people going to the Supreme Court at 1 o'clock at night to cry for Yaqoob Memon. But when Tahawwur Rana comes home, all they remember are his legal rights? Really?
Bharat Mata ki Jai. Bharat Mata ki Jai, Navika ji. And I hope I get the same amount of time as the Congress spokesperson here got. You are absolutely right that you will never forget. And the nation is also not forgetting. The nation still remembers that when in 2011, the court in USA freed the same Rana today, the only leader in India, the only political leader in India who had the guts to call that out was then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Shri Narendra Modi ji. The entire opposition today, at that time the UPA government had mocked him for being them over there in Maharashtra, and they said he's trying to politicize the whole issue. But he was the only leader who had the guts to look in America's eye and say that this is not the way diplomacy is done, and a foreign court will not decide for justice or for people who have died and for terror victims of India. And he promised that day that if he is elected to power, if the Bharatiya Janata Party is elected to power, he will bring those people. And today, it's a historic diplomatic victory for India on India's terms. India na jhuka, na daba, or hamari terms. And here Mr. Jha talks about credibility. Well, let's talk about credibility and let's talk about the things the nation has not forgotten. The Home Minister back then, during the attack, was changing clothes. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, who is another friend of Mr. Sanjay Jha, his son and the Chief Minister were bringing very well-known directors back then and producers because they wanted to make a picture out of, a movie out of the entire thing. This was Congress reaction. Digvijay Singh, he was trying to prove, and many other leaders of the Congress were trying to prove that this is an act of Hindu terror because that Kasab was wearing a kalawa. Shameful, trying to prove ki nahi. Just see the appeasement. The appeasement is not just today, what we are hearing from a Chavan or a Navika Kumar. The appeasement was there then because they were trying to prove that this is an act of Hindu terror and the RSS is responsible for it.
Well, I want to ask you.
It's very shameful. Instead of applauding what the government has done, you have a P. Chidambaram writing long things and letters and trying to take credit. Arey, le lo credit. But where were you and why were you quiet when the US court refused to send him back and freed him? And you're absolutely right, whether it's Yasin Malik or Yaqoob Memon or even Osama G and so many Gs of terrorists that Digvijay Singh or other has put. We know their policy is clear. Their fight is against India. In the words of Rahul Gandhi, our fight is against the Indian state. And in the words of a very recent speech of B.V. Srinivas, who was a former Youth Congress president in the CWC, he said Rahul Gandhi's fight is against the West. Well, Maharashtra is in the west of India, and Maharashtra is in the west of India, and clearly all their leaders are showing that their fight is against west of India and every person in Maharashtra who lost their life.
Tariq Khan, I want to ask you this question. Sanjay Jha, okay, yeah. Right to counter?
Yeah, just two short points. I want to tell the BJP spokesperson that the then Gujarat Chief Minister went to the home of the slain ATS chief and offered cash as compensation. And Mrs. Karkare said, you can leave. And I remember images of speeches being made outside the Oberoi Hotel where a deadly massacre had happened. And let me tell you, the BJP spokesperson, that exactly 6 months later, there were elections in this country, and the people of India gave you a message. Do not try and sensationalize and cheapen what was perhaps one of the biggest tragedies India ever faced. And my second point to you, please kindly note that end of day, when you make these statements on national security, you weaken the country because you are in power. After 2014, you have been in government, and it is your responsibility to follow through and make sure that justice happens. And by the way, Ms. Khera, when Ajmal Kasab went through a full trial, although the world knew him, every Indian knew that he had murdered our innocent people in Mumbai, the world applauded India because we were not behaving like Pakistan or Saudi Arabia. We were doing justice through a democratic trial. That's what made India a great country. Are you saying that what Prithvi Raj Chavan said today is callous because he's talking about India upholding law? Or do you want to become like Saudi Arabia and Pakistan? You need to answer that question, actually. Are you suggesting that we hang people? Are we suggesting that we do a public lynching that you're doing without any trial? I mean, even Americans have done that.
Are you suggesting that the decision to hang somebody or not hang somebody is the decision of the political government of the day, Sanjay Jha? Or are these decisions taken by the top court of the country? I really don't get where you are getting with this blame game, but Radhika Khera.
I mean, she wants this, the BJP wants
the problem with the Congress and their spokespersons right from the top, their leader Rahul Gandhi to Sanjay Jha over here. They had a problem. They were questioning Uri. They were questioning Balakot. They have questioned the credibility of our armed forces. They have questioned the credibility of anything. And every time they have insulted every army person who lost their life. They have insulted every person who have lost their life forever under terror attacks that have been taking place. If you remember, Navika ji, before the NDA government, before Modi ji's government took charge in 2014, if we would go to any public place, एक हमेशा से नोटिफिकेशन बज रही होती थी लाउड स्पीकर पे, कृपया ध्यान दें, यहाँ पे कोई आपको बैग दिखाई दे तो उस पर ध्यान दीजिए, वो बॉम्ब हो सकता है. When was the last time after 2014 you have heard that in any public place or any market or any cinema hall? Never. Because our government ensured that terrorism finishes, and it is because of our party's policies and Hamara Drid Nishre that the Home Minister ensured that Jammu Kashmir, like he promised, was free of terror, which is why Rahul Baba was enjoying an ice cream in the middle of the night in Kashmir and Lal Chowk pe tiranga lehrata hai, जिससे भी इनको तकलीफ होती है. Anything for the country, Mr. Sanjay Jha and his Rahul Gandhi has the problem. It is shameful, and I say it with utmost responsibility today, Navika ji. People like Rana should be hanged in the middle of the road. They should be. Namak dal ke jaise aaj sare hamare shaheedon ke parivaron ne kaha na.
People in this country want retribution. There is no two ways about it. But what we want as individual civilian citizens is different from what a court of law will decide. And when Tahawwur Rana has been brought, he's been taken straight to the NIA special court. So who is questioning the legal process in India, Tariq Khan? Who is questioning this, and why? Because the legal process will always be followed. It was followed for Ajmal Kasab. It will be followed for Yaqoob Memon. It is going to be followed for Tahawwur Rana as well. Why is there such a fear कि हाय भाई इसका क्या होगा? Why should we not raise the issue of legal rights? Only if you are wanting to send a message internationally that India is not safe. Are you doing this only to save Tahawwur Rana? Questions are being asked today. Tariq Khan, please respond.
I completely agree with the BJP spokesperson. Yes, he should be hanged right now, and we have no objection. Samajwadi Party has no objection. But what we are doing, doing extradition is a legal issue. Then you are following the procedure. What NIA court has done, NIA court has given 18 days custody to Rana. What is this? This is also a legal procedure. So we are following the legal process, and somebody is saying that legal process should be followed. So the same thing we are doing. So why we are questioning all these things, I am not able to understand. Legal procedure has been followed with Ajmal Kasab as well. Same thing is followed here as well. So what is the question? Means if we have this power and we can short him right now, no party in India, nobody in India will disagree with these things. But we have a democratic setup, we have a legal procedure, and we have to show America that yes, we have to show America, this is important point, that yes, we have followed the legal procedure, we have followed the judicial process in India, and according to that, we'll give him the sentence and whatever punishment will be given by the court. But we shouldn't we shouldn't be divided on these critical issues which are related to terrorists. At least this is my simple point. We should in a single voice said that yes, strict punishment given to these people who are involved in these type of terror attacks, and Hafiz Saeed and other people who are
how kind Tariq Khan bhai, Yaqoob Memon bhul gaye, यासिन मलिक भूल गए, ओसामा जी भूल गए, जो टेररिस्ट को आपकी सरकार में इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट से छुड़वाने का ऑर्डर दिया था. The court had to step in and say, next is Bharat Ratna that you want to give them. Remember all of this today. Suddenly statesmen like Ishkaran Bhandari, please respond to Tariq Khan.
Yes, Navika, yeah. Yeah, Navika ji, there are many people in India who are in panic today because Tahawwur Rana has come to India and they have a genuine legal reason to panic. When we open our mouth, we speak what is our priority, and sometimes the priorities are based on our insecurities and fear. Please understand, under the criminal law and especially in terror cases, there is no concept of a statute of limitation. So if Tahawwur Rana takes anybody's name, he cannot take the ground that 10 years or 15 years ago this happened, so I cannot be prosecuted today. He would go to jail. Now the legal rights system has come out. They are talking about human rights. What is the reason? And somebody is giving example of America. Let me tell you, in America, after 9/11 happened, the CIA did what is called enhanced interrogation, where they interrogated very thoroughly enemy combatants, enemy citizens, terrorists, and the world was in panic. Some people called it torture. America called it enhanced interrogation. In India, we have a Pakistani origin national who did a terror attack. I do not know how the interrogation would be carried out, but the panic and the squeals for human rights is talking, and we have had people talking about usko to blood cancer hai ya some other cancer hai, he is 60-year-old. These are all the grounds being made by people because they want him in a hospital. They do not want him to face interrogation because names would come out in that interrogation. Please remember David Headley. David Headley was in Mumbai. Who was he friend with? Very close friend with? We all know that. What Bollywood family was he close to? We all know that. What happened? Was it thoroughly investigated? Not investigated? Because at that time there was a government which was hell-bent on proving an agenda of Hindu terror, saffron terror, because they felt that would enhance their vote bank and keep them in power. That all failed. So there is a huge strategy behind the attack. Attack does not happen in isolation. There is a financial support. There are people who recce the places. There are people who ensure that the terrorist reaches those places. Who are all those people? Can the names come out? Maybe, possibly. That is why you have this entire human rights brigade out. If Ajmal Kasab got a trial in our courts, everybody will get a trial because that is what a democracy does. But the panic is, as per me, on the interrogation and on the names which will come out, because that can upset all those people who thought that nothing will come at their door, that they would escape clean, and that is where the major panic is. And you will see in future days more and more human rights wala will come out for Tahawwur Rana.
Well, I want to ask Ravi Srivastav. Ravi Srivastav, is the panic because some names are likely to come out? After all, David Coleman Headley, who made 8 visits to India, got visas, would have got visas and clearances from some connections in the government of that time. Is that the worry? Is the worry the fact that clean chits were being given to any involvement of Pakistan even before the investigation had begun? Well, the Congress party is very quick in claiming credit, and P. Chidambaram, the former Home Minister, put out a statement yesterday. But have we forgotten the statements made by Digvijay Singh then? Even before the investigation had got to any stage, he said that there is no Pakistani involvement. This is all Hindu terror. Just because Ajmal Kasab had been advised to wear kalava, advised possibly by somebody in India. So are the tumbling out of these names a big worry for those today who are actually raising these bogies of legal rights, human rights, already on day one of Tahawwur Rana landing in Delhi?
Good evening, Navika. I fully disagree with the previous panelist's statement. There is no panic, there is no worry, there is no tension to anybody. Everybody unitedly wants the trial should happen and the justice should be done. That's the basic, and there is no.
So do you disagree? Do you disagree with Prithviraj Chavan's statement where he says, I hope legal trial is done? Is there any doubt in your mind that legal trial will not take place, legal rights will not be upheld in this country?
I don't disagree. I'm saying that the trial should happen. The whole world is watching it. And you have to see that in that dastardly attack, there were 6 Americans' lives were lost. And that is why United States was equally interested in this particular trial. But what happened? What India achieved is only Mr. David Headley Coleman is an informer and he is on a US payroll there. I don't think that he is going to ever get any extradition treaty. And extradition treaties have got certain rules and the principles. They were followed by the Indian law, but as far as the hanging is concerned, I think a consent has to be taken from the US court as well. This is not that our trial only will reach to that and he will be hanged. Asking for a trial, a fair trial, is good enough. But what issue here is Ajmal Kasab was hanged after 4 years of the trial, 2008 to 2012. Here, we want to hurry up the whole process because BJP wants to take the credit. We brought Rana. Rhetoric is they want to utilize and cash in the forthcoming elections, which are going to happen in Tamil Nadu, in Bihar, and Bengal. So they want to deliberately cling upon this particular aspect. We brought Rana instead of doing a proper fair trial. As it is, he's a terrorist. How much his statement will hold good? Then look, this man was my accomplice, that man was my accomplice. Will that be corroborated? Merely he's saying this fellow, he went to Haridwar, he went to Agra, he went to so many places. But then by saying, by his own saying, that fellow was my accomplice is not going to prove anything. I think the law will take its course.
So, on the one hand, Ratan Sharda ji, on the one hand, there was an attempt to call this a Hindu terror plot. On the other hand, now legal rights of Tahawwur Rana important, and now Ravi Srivastava has said there will be no value to this trial at all because koi kuch kahega nahi, and there is no value of the statements being made. So, open and shut case. Should we let off Tahawwur Rana? Should any opposition party want to take him as a member? Ratan Sharda?
Yeah, of course, he can be candidate also in coming times. He will take Indian citizenship in the jail and will be candidate of some other party. But see, I don't want to be flippant. First of all, I congratulate the security, the legal system who have got Tahawwur Rana here. And I would also like to salute Tukaram Ombole, who saved us from the gallows by disproving the Saffron terror story, which was not the story for the first time. If Tukaram Ombole had died, same Sanjay Jha would have been grinning ear to ear seeing me behind the bars. Now, I would say that these are same people who said Ishrat Jahan to Bihar ki beti thi, usko maar diya unhone, or same people who cried for Batla encounter. But let me go a little deeper. 26/11 was a RSS sajish. Within a month, the book comes out, and after the book comes out, there are people who are going and releasing the book. Now, further, if you see on the 26/11, Air Force asked government to take action. They were ready to attack. Government just sat down, fearful of what will happen. Dunya kya kahegi? That was the fear they had in mind. You can't deny that. Since Sanjay Jha wants to dig the old graves, which I did not want, because for me, it's a relief that he is dead, but his demeaning comments would make me say that the Siachen Glacier issue, Siachen Glacier was to be gifted to Pakistan, but for armies putting their foot down, it is there in so many biographies and books, I cannot deny that. The same Siachen Glacier for which Mrs. Gandhi became famous for taking it over under the help of the forces they wanted to gift away. Now, if you go further, Navika Kumar, Sanjay Jha is not official spokesperson of Congress. Now, Kanhaiya is the new hero of Congress. He made joke about this particular arrest. Sanjay Raut, his partner, also India partner, also made jokes about this arrest. This is what their feeling is, because for them, this is all joke. Because when this tragedy happened, see what is the importance of Prithviraj? What you said is not the point. He said yesterday on your show, when you interviewed, he said, unlike America, where Tahabur had very good legal system and support for himself, here we do not know, because he may not get a fair trial because minorities have no rights in this country. That is the statement. My problem is not the first part where he said he should get a fair trial. My problem is the second part. We claim that Muslims do or minorities do not get legal rights here. What is the world looking at? Tell me that. And you talk about what is happening, 26/11. I will also remind you that same Kanhaiya Kumar belongs to a gang which danced when 76 CRP Jawans were killed. These people kept their mouth shut when the top leadership in Chhattisgarh was killed in cold blood by the same Naxal people. If this is the stance of your party, my dear friend, don't try to demean others. Look inside and you'll find that Congress is hollow.
And let me ask Sanjay Jha this. Yes, Ravi Srivastava says 6 Americans were also killed, and America is also interested in getting to the bottom of this entire attack and its investigation. If America was so interested, Why did the UPA lose the case in 2011? Why did it not follow up between 2011 and 2014? Why did it actually become the, it was left to the NDA government of 2015 when they got another case and a warrant from an Indian court to once again revive the matter in the courts in the United States, leading finally to the extradition now and the issue being taken up at the highest level in the first meeting with President Trump in his second term. I want to ask you, this is how these fights are fought. What did the UPA do?
Well, Navika, let me tell you, I'll answer your question, but let me expose the hypocrisy of Mr. Ratan Sharda, who spoke before me. Mr. Sharda, I'm going to give you two examples.
Mr. Jha, don't lecture me. Stick
No,
to the point. Don't try to
don't
take
interrupt.
away
Don't
time of the
interrupt.
debate
I'm
by
speaking to
spreading yourself
Navika.
all over the
I'm
place.
speaking to Navika and the viewers. You don't have to interrupt me. Take a deep breath.
Don't keep on speaking continuously and trying to avoid the main question.
So here is
all right.
Navika.
1 minute.
Here is,
one at a time. Yes, Sanjay Jha, go on.
Yeah. Navika, there is a lady who was an MP from Bhopal, right? Terror accused. Sadhvi Pragya Thakur. You know what she said? She said, I cursed Hemant Karkare, the same brave Hemant Karkare who died for a country, the head of the anti-terror squad. She said, I cursed him. You know why? Because he exposed whatever were the allegations against her. And she, by the way, the trial is still on. Mr. Sharda, you need to answer the viewers. Number two, Narayan Rane, who is part of the BJP. Narayan Rane is part of the BJP today. And I remember the statement, you can Google it if you like. He said that in 2611, there were politicians who were actually involved with the terrorists. I want to ask the BJP, your leader said there were local politicians involved with the terrorists. Who was he hinting at? Did you interrogate him? Did you find out?
Was Rane with the BJP then? Well, that's a reality check. That's a fact check. But questions straight to Radhika Kheda. Radhika Kheda, please respond.
Navika, give me a moment because he took my name. Please allow me to speak.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, Ratan.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, I think...
An allegation against me. I have to respond to that. Can I?
I'm glad you picked up the topic of the MP from Bhopal, Sadhvi Pragya. Where is she today? Is she a part of our government? And Narendra Modi ji had gone on record to say that he will never forgive her. And you have the result over here. Tell me, how many actions have you taken against the man who's sitting in USA and running the Congress party? How many actions? Who has called Indians कि वो Chinese लगते हैं, अरबी लगते हैं और क्या-क्या? Remember what all he has said? Has any action been taken? Has any action been taken? And you are a party which has got Kanhaiya Kumar at the highest level of the student body जो ये कहता था इंशाल्लाह टुकड़े होंगे भारत के. Should I break out all the things that the Congress party has said? Osama ji, Digvijay Singh continues to be there. Digvijay Singh who was trying to prove that this entire thing was an act of Hindu terror. That is what the Congress party was doing just for your appeasement. Where is Sadhvi Pragya today and where is Digvijay Singh? Where is that man who's running the party from USA and getting you funds from all these other people and just because you're ready to appease the Muslim vote bank? It's shameful and you know very well, Mr. Sanjay Jha, what I'm talking about.
Kindly answer on Sadhvi.
So don't try to malign the Bharatiya Janata Party and question.
You know, Sadhvi Pragya hasn't been convicted yet. She's a member of parliament, or was a member of parliament. She's not been convicted yet. So for anybody to now point fingers, I do not condone her statement. But nobody in the BJP does that either. The Prime Minister, in an interview with me, said that he's not going to forgive her ever. But you continue to rake up Sadhvi Pragya's statements. Why have you got no answer for Prithviraj Chavan's statements? Why do you have no answer about Vilasrao Deshmukh, who went on a sightseeing tour and took film directors and film stars along with him at that time? Sensitivity, my friend, is an emotion that probably the Congress has forgotten. Their sensitivity always comes up with Yasin Malik, with the Yaqoob Memon, with the Batla House, terror accused. It comes out with the Tahawwur Rana. What happens? You're worried about Ajmal Kasab, Burhan Wani, son of the soil, maths teachers, maths professor's son. That is the problem, Sanjay Jha, and it's a chronic problem. Opposition's worry for Rana's fair trial, is it justified? That's the question we asked people, and a short survey on social media. Majority of the viewers are of the view that it is not justified. In fact, nobody has any tears lost for Tahawwur Rana. Ratan Sharda.
See, very good that Sanjay Jha took the name of Sadi Pragya, because I will also take the name of Colonel Purohit, Asimanand, who were all trapped by the Congress government in the name of Hindu terror, and in the bargain they let Pakistan off the hook, not just in case of Samjhauta and Malegaon, but also in case of 2611. Because you will remember that Samjhauta Express, Asimananda was released, acquitted. Colonel Purohit will also be acquitted. He was framed. There are evidence coming out. And Sadi Pragya cursed because the way she was treated.
We'll have to wait for the full trial of that to happen. But Tariq Khan, remember one thing. People of this country are watching. There is a mood of the nation. And the mood of the nation right now is retribution for those who were responsible for the 2611 attacks. I only want to leave you with the mood of the nation. When retribution is required, should you be shedding tears for terrorists? It's something that you need to think about, because people, and please hear the voices of people. Jyoti Mishra from Delhi, voices coming in defense of Tahawwur Rana show a meltdown of the ecosystem. Gaurish Ankar from Chennai, is opposition worried as they may have hidden Ranas within themselves? Manish Kataria from Begusarai, Rana's extradition is India's victory, not of any party. Why don't politicians think like this? Guddu Khan from Lucknow, because of some backing Tahawwur Rana, even nationalist Muslims have to stand in the dock. When will this pseudo-secular politics really stop? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the moot point. For pseudo-secularism, why penalize those who are sons of the nation, whether they are Hindus or Muslims, Sikhs or Christians, Buddhists or Jainis? That's the question people are asking tonight. Misplaced sense of sensitivity? That's the question. Will the country accept it? Certainly a big capital N-O. Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, you're a friend, but please wake up, smell the coffee. It's the mood of the nation that you need to understand. We leave it at that. Thank you very much.